Ministers of Government, Mr. Anthony White, Chairman of 2022 International Energy Conference and Expo, Mr. John Morton, United Kingdom COP26 Envoy, Dr. Mahendra Sharma, Chief Executive Officer, Guyana Energy Agency, speakers of Agenda Day 3, members of the Diplomatic Corps, special invitees, conference participants, members of the media, all protocols observed. I wish to state upfront that my military background gives me a unique view of Guyana that is not militaristic. It is still a democratic view of Guyana. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you to Day 3 of the 2022 International Energy Conference and Expo. Over the last 2 days, we've heard remarks from heads of government ministers, key public and private sector stakeholders, members of the Diplomatic Corps, industry experts, and academics. In light of this, I wish to take this opportunity to underscore the need for continuous dialogue, collaboration, and knowledge sharing as we discuss goals and plans to decarbonize the energy sector. Today's event will no doubt complement the series of presentations that have been delivered and the ongoing discussions around charting a sustainable energy future. Today's presentations will focus on clean energy transition, both in a national and regional context, and will provide useful information on critical programs, plans, and projects that contribute to this transition. With more than 760 million people in the world experiencing a lack of access to electricity, clean energy solutions present a promising prospect for providing improved services to vulnerable groups in our societies and increased opportunities for enhanced lives and livelihoods. In an aim to deliver on the Paris Agreement on climate change and the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals, countries across the globe have expressed plans and goals for achieving sustainability. Energy transition is among many of these plans. It signals a global shift from fossil-based to zero-carbon energy resources to reduce carbon dioxide emissions to acceptable levels and limit climate change. Today, the world's energy sector is still significantly influenced by fossil fuels. Globally, some 73% of human-generated greenhouse gas emissions result from the burning of fossil fuels for electricity, transportation, and heating. Governments must now work overtime to find real solutions by 2030. Even as we aim towards these goals amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we must acknowledge that this global complication has certainly exposed the weaknesses within every sector, and energy is no exception. Now, More than ever, the achievement of affordable and clean energy, Sustainable Development Goal number 7, will significantly improve these conditions, particularly for the millions of people who are currently considered to be energy poor. But embarking on solutions like energy transition requires strategic and systemic changes at the national, regional, and international level. The changes involved will undoubtedly affect not only our people, but our sectors and regions. In October 2021, the President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Jean Leon, recognizing the importance of regional energy transition, cited such a transformation as one of the most important transgenerational obligations. Currently, the Caribbean is one of the most energy import-dependent regions of the world. At the same time, the price for electricity in the region also ranks among the highest in the world. These costs can considerably affect the region's economic and social development, particularly among vulnerable populations. The Caribbean Development Bank has also outlined 5 priorities for the way forward on achieving true energy transition for the Caribbean. First, improving energy efficiency. Secondly, diversifying energy sources. Thirdly, incentivizing the private sector. Fourthly, investing in strategic partnerships. And fifthly, using innovative, flexible, and affordable financing instruments. What is clear is that solutions for transitioning to a climate neutral economy must reflect both the differences and similarities within countries, while delivering on the Sustainable Development Goals. Regions must develop solutions among all stakeholders to effectively anticipate and manage this transition and its effects on our societies. Clean energy and energy efficiency continue to play an essential part in Guyana's energy transformation. The government of Guyana remains committed to providing affordable, stable, and reliable energy to benefit all, while reducing the country's dependence on imported fossil fuels for electricity generation. We have designed a dynamic path for our country's future. A future where sustainable energy like solar PV and hydropower are harnessed to serve energy needs in innovative ways. It is also a future where people are placed at the center of clean energy transitions and the concerns of individuals, businesses, and communities are adequately addressed. Our government is currently embarking on its commitment to achieving a low-carbon economy and advancing the transition away from conventional energy sources. Guyana's Low Carbon Development Strategy 2030 is geared towards a massive expansion of renewable and clean energy across the country. Our government will pursue a strategy of developing low-carbon energy resources like solar, hydro, wind, natural gas, and biomass to meet the rapidly rising energy demand while keeping greenhouse gas emissions low. Under the strategy, we will advance an energy mix that will lead to more than 500 megawatts of newly installed capacity over the next 5 years. Among the projects to be implemented as part of our energy transition is the highly anticipated gas to energy project. This project will provide some 300 megawatts of power to the national grid and is expected to result in substantial cost savings for power generation while reducing electricity costs to consumers by at least 50%. In parallel, the implementation of the 165 megawatts Amila Falls hydropower project will be advanced to further enhance our nation's energy security. Generally, the energy transition in Guyana is expected to undergo 3 stages. Stage 1, during the period 2022 to 2027. A combination of natural gas and realization of the Amelia Falls hydro plant, coupled with a significant expansion of solar power with batteries on the rural networks. Stage 2, from 2027 to 2030, the continued replacement of heavy fuel oil, expansion of wind and solar, and the possible commissioning of Guyana's second hydropower project. And stage 3, from 2032 onwards. Future expansion will be determined by prevailing market conditions, but it is likely that battery and hydrogen technology will be sufficiently advanced to enable solar and wind to provide new capacity increases while contributing to the possible further reduction in electricity costs. With adequate and timely technical and financial support, we will develop our indigenous energy resources while addressing energy security concerns, advancing climate change mitigation efforts, and promoting sustainable energy solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, projects are on the way to improve people-centered energy access through investments in solar PV systems for off-grid areas and the development of microgrids for large hinterland areas, leading to the expansion of our Hinterland Electrification program. Guyana remains the country where 90% of the people live on 10% of the land, basically along the coastline, and the remainder of the people are sparsely settled throughout the remaining 90% of the country in the hinterland and interior regions. So specifically, the projects will entail the installation of 13 utility-scale solar PV farms, 30,000 solar home systems for hinterland and riverine communities, 20 solar PV mini-grids for public buildings in the hinterland, over 180 solar PV standalone systems for the government ICT hubs, and the installation of a 3-megawatt grid-connected solar PV system at the Ret'd International Airport. These solar PV installations will result in approximately 46.4 megawatts of installed solar PV capacity and are expected to be commissioned within the next 2 years. Guyana is also promoting the construction of small, mini, and micro hydropower systems, and a total of 2.35 megawatts of hydropower capacity will be added to serve hinterland communities by 2024. Our government's Hinterland Electrification program aims to electrify some 200 unserved and underserved communities by 2026, using the most technical and economically feasible solutions that will include the enhancement of the productive usages of energy. The issue of energy access is a cross-cutting one, and providing sustainable energy for everyone has far-reaching economic, environmental, and social benefits. Consequently, in addition to serving domestic needs, it is important to link rural electrification efforts to productive activities such as ICT, connectivity, commerce, and agro-processing to allow for greater community involvement, retention of skills in the communities, and long-term sustainability. Our government is also pursuing low-carbon transportation infrastructure to reduce the demand for imported fossil fuels for vehicular transport. To accomplish this, we intend to foster the development of an electric vehicle industry to substitute fossil fuels with electricity while enhancing the ability of the electric grid to integrate high levels of intermittent renewable energy. To this end, the installation of fast charging stations for electric vehicles will be piloted during 2022 in regions 3, 4, and 6. This would be supplemented with future initiatives to increase efficiency levels of vehicle consumption of fuel. Energy efficiency, the other pillar of sustainable energy, is equally important given that minor behavioral changes can lead to improved efficiency, less wastage, and a significant reduction in energy consumption. Increased efficiency can reduce the need for investments in energy infrastructure, lead to savings in energy bills, reductions in the country's oil import bill, increase competitiveness, and reduced greenhouse gas emissions. In 2022, the distribution and installation of 22,000 LED bulbs and 12,000 LED tubes to homes, businesses, and government buildings will be undertaken. This initiative will help to reduce the carbon footprint of homes, businesses, and government buildings and trigger behavioral changes. Information and communication technology and digital transformation will be needed to support the clean energy transition and thus introduce new and emerging sectors. Therefore, we need to develop our human resources and the local capacity to drive this clean energy transition. Capacity building, training, and public awareness have to be incorporated so that our citizens can actively participate in opportunities for job creation and the development of small and medium-sized enterprises. Also, educational institutions will have to be upgraded to cater to new demands as more citizens pursue additional certifications. Moreover, women, youth, and vulnerable groups will be encouraged to actively participate in these opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, the outcome of COP26 indicates that the 1.5 degrees Celsius path is within reach, but the achievement will depend on the extent to which the pledges are held. Developed and developing countries cannot afford to work in solitude to address their energy challenges and scale up measures. We need to work together to conquer the complexities and uncertainties in climate financing, technical capacities, policies, and regulatory frameworks to drive the energy transition. The government of Guyana remains committed towards achieving a low-carbon economy and advancing the transition to clean energy development will remain at the forefront of our national priority. As the cost curve for technologies like wind, solar, and energy storage continues to decline and countries transition to a low-carbon future, both public and private investments in transforming the energy mix and energy efficiency technologies will become necessary to pave the way for a sustainable energy future for all. This will also reap significant returns for climate change mitigation and adaptation, economic resilience, and energy security. Therefore, the government of Guyana is ready to engage and work in partnership with all stakeholders in the sector to find solutions to our energy challenges and to create an enabling environment. As I close, I wish to congratulate the organizers for hosting a successful conference this year, despite the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. I wish everyone a fruitful day 3 of this conference and look forward to your participation during today's discussions. Finally, I hope that we can end the conference with renewed vigor on actions that must be taken and the role we all must play in achieving a low-carbon energy transition. I thank you.